So age is catching up with me. I need prompting and glasses now, so excuse me. So thanks for the introduction. I'm Nigel Leggett. I run our partner team in Europe. My day job is finding partners that want to be successful with the Bing Ads platform. I noticed the 3 presentations this morning, we only had 1 badge up there. 1 out of 3 is not good enough. If you want to talk to our team, they're here, and we'd love to talk to you about becoming a Bing partner. So that's my sales pitch, and I'll move on to the presentation. What I wanted to do was firstly say thank you to Facinda for inviting me, and I'm really excited to have the opportunity to talk about a topic which is pretty close to our hearts at Microsoft, and hopefully is to yours as well, and that's digital transformation. And I noticed there's actually another session on later today with the same topic, digital transformation. And I attended Demexco, I don't know whether any of you were there, a couple of weeks ago in Cologne, but there were at least 6 or 7 of the sessions that I went to in Cologne were also titled Digital Transformation. So I'm unashamedly going to steal a joke which I heard at Cologne, and it's regarding marketeers and digital transformation. Marketers and digital transformation are like teenagers and sex. Some of them are actually doing it. The ones that are doing it, are they doing it well? They don't know. So I think it's a little bit harsh, but you get the point. So in the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about how technology is forcing companies of all sizes to transform their business. We'll tell you a little bit about how Microsoft has transformed their business and the journey that we're on down that route. How we're helping our customers and partners to become more successful in this digital transformation mode, and then talk a little bit about the role that we feel that search plays in helping marketers go through the digital transformation. But first of all, I just wanted to try and talk a little bit about what digital transformation is. I mean, we have seen technology basically changing and disrupting businesses everywhere. And those businesses that embrace that technological change will be the businesses that succeed through digital transformation. It's about how the applications of the digital technology are shaping our society and reshaping the business landscape. Capitalizing on this phenomenon will be key to innovation and growth. From the rise of connected devices, the growing mounds of data, and the emergence of advanced analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, the challenge and the opportunity for business leaders is to harness the technology to become more agile and more efficient. There are 3 factors that are converging here, we believe. Firstly, there's the sheer volumes of data that businesses are collecting. And I heard a great stat the other day that today, or by the end of this year rather, we will have 20,000 times more data than we had in the mid-1980s. So that's the size of the data explosion, the data that's available to businesses. We have seen huge increases and developments in data analytic capability and artificial intelligence. And that's created the ability to actually draw value from the data, and is enabling companies to not only react to what they're seeing in the data, but using the data to preempt what's coming down the line next. And of course, there's been the ubiquity of cloud computing, and we've seen that already talked about this morning, where Microsoft is leading the way with a number of businesses around how we develop our cloud computing capabilities. But basically what it means is all of a sudden the cloud becomes democratized. Businesses of all sizes can store data in the cloud, can use the cloud to run their applications regardless of their size. So why should businesses go through digital transformation? So here's some stats that we have picked up, and these you can't see them here, but there's the reports that we've pulled them from are listed on this slide. Whoops. Firstly, business leaders recognize that digital transformation is both inevitable and mandatory. 86% of CEOs are considering digital transformation as their #1 priority. And there's a reason that they're interested. Businesses that adopt it are more profitable, and 30% of business will have already started monetizing some or all of their data assets, or their information assets rather, by the end of 2017. However, there's no doubt that digital transformation provides a struggle for certain enterprises to move through the path. Companies frequently have complex infrastructures, they have multiple platforms, different types of data, customized applications. That's very hard to pull together. Then when you layer on the people layer onto that, many companies have employees that are spread across geographies, different languages. There's a lot of moving parts to consider. So when we think about it in these in this kind of virtuous circle. Basically, it's about engaging customers, it's about transforming products, it's about optimizing operations, and it's about empowering employees. When you look at that, you probably could have put that slide up about 20 years ago, and it'd probably be the same 4 things that are important to businesses. But the issue here is we're seeing businesses utilizing digital transformation to become successful and make that virtuous circle pay back for them. So around engaging customers, it's about building natural, tailored experience for customers that delight them, harnesses their data, and it represents a complete view of the customer so you can continue to iterate the product. Empowering employees by designing workplaces where every working style can thrive, but at the same time keeping organization, people and infrastructure safe. It's accelerating the responsiveness of the business, improving service levels, reducing costs with intelligent processes, and anticipating future and coordinate people and assets more efficiently. And finally, it's harnessing data as a strategic asset, shifting from hindsight to foresight, automating manual processes, delivering personalization to customers, and innovating around new business models and services. In a world of infinite power and infinite storage, how are businesses doing this? So could you play the video, please? As I said earlier, we are, as a business, also going through a digital transformation. And we're part of the way through this process, which has probably been going on for about the last 2 to 3 years. And you'll be aware that we've transformed our product set. For example, we've moved from a volume license model to a subscription model. Windows updates are now free. We moved our server business to the cloud. Within Bing Ads itself, we're empowering our employees in a number of ways. We're allowing our sales teams to develop tailored sales and service levels depending on the opportunities that they see with their customers. We're creating BI dashboards which our salespeople are taking out to their customers so they can be much more knowledgeable and literate about our network and the opportunity on the network. We've built predictive analysis models so that we can talk to customers about the right opportunity at the right time and score those opportunities so we can see how successful we're being. And we're engaging our customers. We continue to have a growing number of consumers who use Bing as their preferred search engine. And with loyalty programs such as Microsoft Rewards, we're managing to tie together some of those consumer assets across Bing, across Edge, Windows Store, etc. And this experience has helped us to work with some of our customers and partners in helping them through that transition. And a couple of these names I'm about to show you were on the video, but I'll just touch on them briefly in a bit more detail. The first one I wanted to touch on was Lowe's, which some of you guys may be familiar with. They're a home improvement store in the US. Basically, the challenge that they were facing was how do you get better customer engagement in store, particularly when you're around designing and remodeling for your home. So they basically took our HoloLens product, which is a virtual reality product, which enabled the store to actually build out what the kitchens would look like in the home of the customer while the customer's in the store. So there's a fun element to it, but there's also a great sales element to it, in that the customer can basically change the units on the doors, put a different worktop on, have a totally new sink or whatever it is they might want rather. And it's basically it enables the customer to see a holographic representation of what the kitchen's going to look like in their home before they've even bought it. Another example is with McDonald's, and this is actually an example from Sweden. So McDonald's had built a brand app that allowed their various markets to publish new content to fit its needs. So marketing campaigns, details about new products, etc. Basically designed to drive footfall and upsell. But the issue that McDonald's was struggling with was how do you deploy that at scale? So the company added an analysis and insight system based on Microsoft Azure, and the combination allowed Microsoft to gather information about its customers, what they like to eat, where they like to eat it, their voucher redemption history, and convert it all into useful insights that enable more targeted messaging. And there's some really impressive results. Their loyalty absolutely shot up, 700% increase in customer loyalty based on the way that they measure it, and the increased promotional efficacy. So they had a 47% increase in what they call tray value for customers who were using their mobile apps. So what's this all got to do with search? I hear you murmur, and what's it got to do with Bing? Well, as marketers, the area in which we can help digital transformation for our partners and their customers is through customer engagement. And I want to show you some of the ways that search can help you engage with customers. But before I get into why search is important in engaging customers, it's important to understand how customer engagement has changed over time. So we use this, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself, sorry. So basically customer engagement has changed. For a start, personalized experiences are now table stakes for customers. It's basically, it's the expected entry point for customers. And nearly 3/4 of online consumers get frustrated with websites when promotional content appears that has nothing to do with their interest. And I think that backs up something that somebody said earlier. And when asked what capability would be the most important to marketing in the future, 1/3 of marketers answered personalization. And if you can achieve this and you can engage with a customer in a more meaningful way, we have this phrase at Microsoft where you change customers from being customers to being fans. And once you have a customer being a fan of your business, there's data to back that up to say that fans will spend 60% more per transaction, and they will increase their spend on the brand by a factor of up to 3 times during a year. So it's no surprise that 64% of senior managers intend to prioritize investments in the consumer experience in the next 3 years. And the rise of mobile and social technologies, consumers are now more powerful than ever. And this is a great stat. 5 out of 6 millennials will make contact with a company on their social media network. Their always connected status and ability to find information in seconds puts them on the front foot and in control when they're talking to companies. So our industry has always seen search as basically a transactional product. It's been basically you turn it on, you turn it off, you dial it up, dial it down, you change your bids, do some optimization. Very kind of operational. What we're seeing is a change and 3 different kind of factors coming into play here. Search can help a more personalized experience for your consumers. Search can help you predict and lead you to better ways to engage with your customers. And because search is pervasive across all apps and devices, it helps you to engage at any time across the life cycle with the customer. And I'm just going to spend the next 3 slides talking about that in a little bit more detail. So with 3 out of 4 customers expecting brands to deliver a personalised experience, all the channels you or your clients invest in need to consider delivering on the promise around personalisation. We're working with partners and customers to make sure that they're using all the personalisation capabilities on our platform. Our audience targeting capabilities continue to evolve, giving ways for our customers and partners to reach customers in a more personal way. And I just want to call out a couple of things that we're doing which you may or may not be familiar with. So firstly, our remarketing and paid search product allows customers and partners to personalise how they recontact a customer based on what the customer did when they visited their site. We continue to evolve our demographic targeting, which enables partners and customers to target around age, demographic, date and time of year, time of day rather. And our acquisition of LinkedIn, while still at very early days, gives us on the horizon an opportunity to think about how search targeting and business profiles and CRM in the cloud come together to provide a much more joined up experience across that platform. Then when we look at how search can provide insights, search and insights are a really powerful way of informing how you should engage with customers. They can be turned into intelligent action, and search in this context should not be operated in a vacuum, but should be part of a wider mix across the marketing channels. Our insights teams today are able to provide analysis on query paths, which analyse which queries people search for during a customer journey, what's the first term they use and the last term they use, and when do they make that purchase decision. So the attribution model that some of the other speakers were talking about this morning. As I said earlier, we're seeing more companies use search to predict patterns and behaviours in their business. At Bing, we've been using social search and other relevant data to make intelligent projections about upcoming events like sports games, reality TV shows and more. That's a bit of a light-hearted use of it, but you can see the application in business. And anyone who was here 2 years ago when I spoke in Dublin will remember me talking about how the Bing predicts was a tool that we were using to look at patterns going on right across the web to try and understand sentiment and how certain events were going to pan out. So I just want to finish off by looking a little bit about what the future might hold. And we're starting to think at Microsoft about a platform which we believe could be as powerful as the web or mobile apps. And it basically uses speech recognition and natural user interaction and capabilities of machine learning to have it where we think businesses have got an unprecedented opportunity in how they engage and interact with consumers through search. We're calling it Conversation as a Platform, and it's about taking the power of human language and applying it much more pervasively to computing, including as a medium for contacting a business. Conversation as a Platform represents human and machine learning interaction using natural language UIs, messaging, voice. We'll have new capabilities for computers to understand human language, including the ability to teach them how to interpret and respond to human language through AI and machine learning. There'll be also new entry points that we'll see much more pervasive, and we've had a couple of people already today talking about the role of bots in the local search environment. We're already starting to see our customers using bots to answer simple questions around restaurant opening times, typical price of menu, so including bots in the search experience. But we've only just reached the beginning of this journey, and I think we're at a stage where we are approaching liftoff in terms of its deployment. But if you consider how many people in the world use SMS today, and how many people are starting to use voice platforms such as our own Cortana, Siri, Google Now, and imagine that medium being much richer so that you can interact with businesses as long as you can text, message or speak, that's quite exciting. And for us at Microsoft, we have our platform Skype is one of those conversational canvases, as we call it, with over 300 million monthly connected users and more than 3 billion minutes of talk each month. Our vision is to turn these communication tools and canvases into rich point of contact and engagement for all businesses and brands to reach people where they're communicating. I don't know what's happened to my slides, but... Oh, dear. Just
Technology, eh?
Sorry, it's...
Computer says no.
Yeah.
hacker. Dave, here's Dave.
Help desk. Or at Yale, we used to just call it the desk.
I'll tell you what, I'll wrap there. I was just going to show you another video which showed some of the things that we're doing around the conversation as a platform piece. I don't know whether these slides are going out to members, but if not, if you want to come and see me or come and see any of the other members of the Bing team, we'll share that video with you because it brings all of this to life. So I wanted to end there. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening, and good luck transforming your business if that's the route you're going on, and come and see the Bing team if you need some help. Thank you.
Stay right there may be questions.
Sorry.
I have one, just before we ask the floor. I get all this stuff about personalization and converting customers into fans. But if I'm thinking of this from the perspective of a reseller or a publisher, how do I make my SME a fan? Because we still suffer from a lot of churn in this industry. What do we got to do to make our small businesses fans of us?
I thought it was interesting hearing the guys from Switzerland on earlier, and and talking about that once a year cycle of contact, and I just feel that resellers or publishers need to think about contacting customers when it's right to contact the customers, not when it fits into an annual sales cycle. And I think the once a year drive-by call is probably a thing of the past. Yeah.
I think we'd all agree with that. The more frequency of contact you can make with customers, and remember, every time you contact a customer, you don't have to sell to them. Just add value to them, remind them of the good decision they've made, or tell them how many calls you've generated for them or how many leads you've generated for them. You don't have to sell to them every time you speak to them. Do we have any questions for Nigel from the audience? I'll come to you with the microphone. Oh, right.
Where? Oh, okay, sorry. Mark.
Nigel, great presentation. Quick question on traffic. So from our perspective, you guys convert most probably 2.5 over Google when it comes to actual conversions. Is there a plan increasing traffic across MEA? I mean, UK, you guys are fine. I think you have 22%.
Yeah. So thanks for the question. Thanks for being an easy one.
I can try. I can make a harder one.
So, the short answer is yes, and I think the way that we think about growing traffic kind of falls into two broad brush areas. There is what we're doing around devices, whether it's our own devices or whether it's third-party devices carrying Bing, and we've seen a lot of our recent growth being driven by the Windows 10 launch and how that's impacted the market. Clearly, we need to find the next wave of devices where we can have Bing installed in those devices. But we also think about how we grow through partnerships. And I think one of the things that we have seen in the last maybe year to 18 months is we're starting to develop high quality, valuable partnerships which drive traffic and drive value for our advertisers. And in the US, you'll have seen the work that we've done with AOL. In the UK, we've signed a deal with Gumtree. So the high quality publishers that can provide us with search traffic to augment what we're trying to generate ourselves through first party and third party devices. So as usual, it's a slow burn, but we're getting there, and we're seeing market share in a number of our markets now moving into double figures. And as you said, in our core markets around France, Germany, and the UK, we are a significant player in those markets.
Anybody else? Well, please put your hands together and thank Nigel Leggett.
Thank you.